Hey, how's it going? I'm IlaGolden and welcome to my vlog. Right, as I'm sure you've probably noticed by now, I've got a new camera. Not sure if this is going to be a permanent change or just a temporary change. I'm just trying it out and it's just going to be the next couple of videos or so just to see how it goes, and I may go back to the old camera, I may stick with this. All depends on how this goes. The other thing I need to mention is that the collab video is now being pushed back to the end of the month. So the other two videos that I'm planning to do this month are going to slot in before that. Obviously that now means that you have no idea what this vlog is going to be. If you watch the end of the last one, you're expecting it to be a collab and you're expecting it to be about different diversity and differences and whatever I said it was supposed to be about. Well, no, you're not getting that now until the end of the month. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get everything together and we get everything organised. And basically, there are issues on my guest stars end that have forced us to sort of push it back a little bit. But fingers crossed, all being well, end of the month, we should get that one. Looking forward to it. All right, so what is this one going to be about today then? It is going to be about protagonists, which was going to be the one after. Now it's this one. So yeah, I just want to sort of talk a bit about, how I decide who my protagonists are, and yeah, I guess that's the theme of this one. I'm a little bit less prepared than I should be because I was expecting to do this in a slightly different order, but never mind, this is the order we're doing it in, so let's go for it. So when I say protagonist, I do refer specifically to the main character in the story, and the main character of the story, or protagonist, does not have to be a good guy. Mine usually are, just because that's how I tend to write. But strictly speaking, a protagonist does not have to be a good guy. They just have to be the main character in your story. And usually for most people, that's the first character you kind of get into your head when you're sitting down and writing something. Because I have done a lot, or I do a lot of what I refer to as multiple protagonist stories, where you're sort of focusing on multiple main characters. I tend to spend a lot more time thinking about protagonists than a lot of people do. Having a singular protagonist, having that one person that you're following all the way through, and you're concentrating on them and whatever else, that's great. And I do quite, when I can, I do quite like writing that sort of style, because it is easier to just keep focus on one character than on like loads and loads and loads of characters, obviously. But in terms of, doing the whole multiple protagonist thing, I quite enjoy doing that as well, because I quite like getting to know lots of different characters and then deciding, like, is this particular scene going to be from this character's point of view? Are we going to follow them now? Or are we going to follow this now? Am I going to add in another protagonist that's going to do various things? Are they actually a protagonist, or are they a secondary character that is just having this little bit of prominence for a little bit? And yeah, I do quite enjoy doing the whole protagonist thing. So I think I'm gonna talk a little bit about some of my favourite protagonists, so to speak. The ones that I really like it when I'm writing from their point of view, because it's exciting and it's interesting, and they're where the storyline that I'm enjoying the most at that moment in time happens to be. Obviously I'm gonna say Jay is probably one of my favourite protagonists. All the versions of him where I've had a protagonist under the name of Jay, I do quite like those. I do quite like that sort of personality, or the variants on that sort of personality that he kind of has. So yeah, and I'm not just saying that because I'm supposed to be working on Hyena Boy at the moment. I am supposed to be working on Hyena Boy at the moment. I've got 3 months now, less than 3 months now before I'm supposed to release it. So yeah, he's a brilliant protagonist, especially the version in Hyena Boy. You guys are in for an absolute treat when that comes out. um, so yeah, definitely J. I do like writing my J's. Although if I had to pick one that was my favourite, I actually quite like the one that appears in the Tale Saga probably the most. And I don't know if it's because I've spent the most time with him over the years and I've developed his character the most over the years, or whether it's because that's just the version of him that I like the most, or what. But yeah, I do like the one particularly from the Tale Saga, and I've always had like a great enjoyment writing that particular Jay, both when he's being good and when he's being bad. And I won't spoil it any more than that. He definitely has one of my favorite emotional moments of the Tale Saga, and yeah, whenever I go back and I read through that, I'm just like, oh my god. Like every single time, it's just like it just gets me. Yeah, so there's Jay, definitely. And also from the Tale Saga, I think probably Tristan. And yes, I know technically Tristan isn't my character. He does come from the actual Yu-Gi-Oh series, or the dubbed version at least. But what I do to his character kind of made me a fan of him. Like, even though the version of him in the show is nothing like the version of him that I ended up with, all the things I kind of did to him made me a fan of him, and how I made his character adapt and what I've done to his character. It's weird. I like the original version of his character because of what I did to my version of his character. I know that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but yeah, no. And again, read the tales, and I think you'll get it. I very much think you'll get it, because there is something, there's something about the way he reacts and the way he goes through those situations, and even like the way I evolved that character through various rewrites to sort of get it to what it is now, that just makes the character so good, and makes the character so impactful in terms of the story. And as I said, it made me like his actual version a lot more because of what I'd done to him. And I know that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but no, go with it. I think I'd be remiss to say that I don't like Echo as a main character. I do. She's certainly the first of her kind that I've written about. I was about to say certainly the first disabled character I've had as a protagonist, but that's not true. Strictly speaking, that's not true. But she's definitely the first of her kind where she's, in a no, she's not even the first protagonist in a wheelchair, because I had one in a previous story as well. She's the first one in a wheelchair who's the parent of 2 children. That's what she's the first. I mean, everything else about her, like the fact that she's a nymph, the fact that she's disabled, the fact that she's a mother, all of those things I've sort of done before, but not all together. So she's the first that has brought all these elements together, and she's a great character anyway. There is a lot of strength to her, and there's a lot of there's a lot of depth there, and a lot you can sort of see and read into that character. And I think yes, I am mentioning her mostly because I have Echo out, and you guys should read Echo. And if you're not, wanting to buy it, I am actually doing Isla reads of Echo at the moment. Yeah, the first part should be released by this point. I think, yeah, we'll go with it's been released by this point. But yeah, no, she's a great character, and I did really enjoy writing her, and I did really enjoy revisiting her and defining her character a lot more, when I went back to sort of writing it again later. And so of what I'm writing now, I think I should also say my favourite protagonists and what I'm writing now. Oh, it's so hard to choose. So that's the thing, when I'm actually writing it, it's really hard for me to decide which one of my protagonists is my favourite protagonist, because all my protagonists are like my favourite protagonist, depending on what their storyline is. I think there's some that I'm not focusing. Oh no, actually at the moment I'm probably focusing on them all fairly evenly. For this one, I think it's more I've got my favourite pairings and my favourite storylines rather than my favourite protagonists, because I do actually quite like all of them at the moment. I'd be hard pushed to pick one as like a standout favorite. I think I could pick like 2 or 3, but just one as a standout favorite. No, that's not happening. But yeah, no, I'm enjoying what I'm writing at the moment, obviously, and yeah, um, they are all very different in and similar at the same time. But yeah, can't go into more detail than that one. I can't actually pick one as a protagonist, like as a standout protagonist. But I have revealed that what I'm writing at the moment does have multiple protagonists and is going across several books at the moment. The epicness of an epic writer. This is why I write series. They're so much easier for me. So yeah. I would probably have a little bit more to say on this one if I'd, had the time to actually plan a little bit better. As I said, because this has really been like a last minute change. It's literally like been the last couple of days where there have been issues and things have happened so that she's not available for doing it at this point in time, but she will be. She will be. She will be. It's literally just technical issues, technical issues that have delayed us. But because of those technical issues, I've not been thinking about this one. I've been thinking about that one, and obviously, I need to make sure everything is released on time and on schedule for you guys. So I do apologise for this one being a little bit on the short side and a little bit all over the place. But this is what you get when you don't have the ability to plan the way you want to plan. We love not being able to plan. It's the best. Anyway, hopefully next time I will be able to be a bit more precise, a lot more precise, because I know what I'm doing next time and I will be able to plan it and think about what it's going to be. And the topic for the next one is going to be changes. Now, I'm not totally sure what I mean by that at the moment, but I am going to have a bit of time to think and actually focus in on what I'm talking about when I'm talking about changes. And it's not going to be like talking about channel changes. I've done that. I know it's not going to be about that. It is focusing on, I guess, changes in writing style and in terms of like what I focus on in terms of characters and stories, I guess. It's changes that I've gone through as a writer. Yeah, there we go. That's the topic for next time. Changes I've gone through as a writer. Hopefully that'll be quite interesting. Hopefully this one isn't as all over the place as I think it is, but I'm sure it is. I hope we've at least sort of got the idea that I like writing a protagonist. And at some point I will do one of these about antagonists. Probably next month, now that I think about it. That would be a good topic for at some point next month. But just because, your protagonist is your main character. It's the character that you're investing, or characters that you're investing the majority of your time in and the majority of your focus in. So it's important to really like those characters. And I hope that I've at least shown that I invest myself in those. I don't know. I could have gone into more detail on how I invest myself in those characters, but I'm sure at least I've shown that I'm sort of enthusiastic, and I know, I know they're important, and I value them, and I couldn't write without my protagonists after all. So, yeah, I think I'm going to leave that there. The topic of the next one is how I've changed as a writer over the years, and I will see you next time. See ya! If you've enjoyed this video, feel free to check out some of my others, and if you like what you see, please like and subscribe. See ya!